Hello, welcome to Barefoot Budgets episode 2. My name is Kim Colling. I'm from Newcastle in New South Wales, and if you saw my first video, you will know that I'm really passionate about budgeting. I have found that many families don't know how to do a basic budget, and oftentimes an expense turns up that happens to turn up every year, electricity bill, rego, CTP, and it's like, oh my goodness, I've got no money because I have my rego due this week. And I always think, well, hang on, surprise, that comes up every year, like Christmas, birthdays, these things turn up every single year. Why are you surprised? Why don't you have a budget set aside for it? So I thought I would use my accounting skills to and my budgeting passion and experience to just try and help add some value and teach you how to do a basic budget. So here we are. Let me just open my spreadsheet, sorry, so I can, anyway. So if you watched episode 1, welcome to episode 2. Please let me know where you're watching from, and welcome to anybody who's watching this on the replay or on my YouTube channel. Let me know where you're watching from, if you're watching the live or the replay, and thank you so much for following this journey. I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my videos on there as well. And I think you can set it that you can actually follow and get a notification when I upload something, so that you can keep watching these videos as I create them. I will try and keep adding value, especially if you want to send me some questions, and I can do some Q&A on here and on YouTube. So last week we talked a bit about your mojo and how important it is to set up your mojo account so that you never have a heart attack when unexpected expenses come along. So your fridge blows up and you need a new one. If you've got your $2,000 mojo set aside, you go and get yourself a new fridge, and then you use your fire extinguisher, which I will talk about in today's episode, or you will have heard of if you've read the Barefoot Investor book. You use that to pay back that mojo as a first priority, and then you carry on paying your debts. So what I've just recorded and uploaded to my YouTube channel is a video on, it's a spreadsheet and that I've created for you, and I sort of talk through how to use it, and I take you through this whole budgeting process, showing you the spreadsheet and how I've set it up. And if you want a free copy of that spreadsheet, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, like the video, and let me know, and I'll send you a copy of the free copy of the spreadsheet. But yeah, back to the nitty gritty. So setting up the expenses. In the video on the spreadsheet, I actually pull the whole lot together with the income and the expenses. But what I really want to help at the moment is just breaking down those expenses, especially if you've listened or read the Barefoot Investor. I struggle a bit with only having 4 buckets of money. So he talks about high level, he talks about having 4 buckets of money. 60% of your income goes into or the perfect percentages would be about 60% of your income into your below bucket, your expenses. So that's your groceries, your mortgage, your bills, pretty much everything that you have to blow money on. You then have about 10% ideally on your splurge bucket. So that's the fun money. Can we go out for dinner? Can we get takeaway? Let's go to movies. So that there's always some play money, because life's pretty boring and pretty awful if all you've got is expenses. I've lived like that in the past, where there's no money for fun and it sucks. So you want to have some money set aside for fun, so you can have some fun. It might be limited. Maybe sometimes you can't go because there's no money there, but at least if you're putting into that bucket, there are times when you can go and enjoy a meal out or a takeaway or whatever it is that floats your boat, a concert, whatever it is. You then put 10% into your smile bucket. Now this is for things that make you smile. So for a lot of us, it's holidays, it's travel. So any of that sort of long-term fun stuff, you're saving for long-term things. That could be, for me, it's horse riding. There's just any number of things. But a lot of people, it's from also the holiday budget. You want to put some money in there so that you can afford to go on holiday with your family occasionally. And that could be as big or as little as you can afford. He ideally says you want to put about 10% of your income into there. And then your fire extinguisher. Now, in the perfect world, your fire extinguisher would be 20% of your income. I've just noticed a spelling mistake on my spreadsheet. I'll fix that in the one I send you. And that is your money that you use to top up your mojo when you've spent it, to save money for long-term savings goals. So let's just say you're saving for a house, you're saving for, deposit on an investment property, or you're just trying to pay off your mortgage or pay off your debt. You've got credit card debt, you've got a car debt, you want to use that to pay off that debt. The beauty of that is you've got that spare money there that's paying off debt, that when you use your mojo for an unexpected expense because the dog got sick and needed an extra vet bill or surgery, whatever it is, you can pay that mojo back. And then your mojo's there, and then you're not stressed about emergencies again. So that's kind of how the basic Barefoot Investor buckets work. Now for me personally, I struggle with the concept of 1 bucket for all my expenses, because I like to know everything has a place. And if all of our bill and expense money and everything was sitting in 1 bucket, and Shane looks at it and goes, oh, there's thousands of dollars in there, great, we can go and have a massive big grocery shop, and we can buy everything we possibly want and need. and there's no sort of like limitations on sticking to that budget because it's not broken down. So I actually broke mine down into a few different categories. My computer keeps going to sleep. So for me, I created a separate bank account. Now again, if you've followed the Barefoot Investor, he mentions ING. I did set up ING because it's so easy to set up extra savings accounts in there, and you can set up heaps. So I've got my everyday account, which is for me, it's for groceries and fuel, for instance, and that's the one that, you know, Shane can have a look at. He knows he can buy something if he needs to. There's money there for fuel and groceries, and we know that it kind of keeps a check on what we've got for groceries and if we're over or under budget. You can't really go over if you're using a cash basis, so ideally you just stick within your budget. You can see what you've got there and you try and live within your means. I then have a separate, the mortgage budget just goes to the mortgage, so that's done. I have a bills account. This one I like because I put aside, and if you'll see when you watch the spreadsheet video, how you can build up your expenses to have the right amount in there that you need for your bills. That way the electricity bill turns up and you know you've got the money there to pay for it. It's not a drama. You know, the other day Shane said, oh, Haley needs new soccer boots. I'm like, yep, no worries. There's money in the sports fund. Go and get it. I might be saying don't go shopping for groceries because we've reached our limit, but I'm saying, yep, you know, your car needs tire. What does it need? A service? Or if you go and get your car serviced, no problem, because I know that that's budgeted for in the bills. So, you know, that is your rates, water, electricity, house insurance, Netflix. For me, I've got medical and pharmacy in there. I've got private health insurance, all the known bills that you definitely get. Yes, you are live, Brett. So you want to put those in. I've got that in a bills budget. I then also have, because my kids do sports, I have a sports budget. So soccer and music lessons at the moment are in there for me. If your kids are doing karate, whatever it is, the sport that they're doing, you know more or less what that costs a year. Maybe they aren't doing anything right now, but you know they're probably going to do a sport each year, and maybe you need $500 per sport. Pop that in there. School fees, that's a big one, especially if you're in a private school or a semi-private school, but put in what your school fees are. So in my budget spreadsheet that you'll see on YouTube, I've got, you know, fees of say $500, assuming a public school. Put in what your bill is going to be. You know what your school fees are going to be. You then put in, I also have my fees for USH in there, and any other expenses like uniforms, books, stationery, fundraisers, school camps. Also in my bills, then I have my pets as a separate bank account. I know I have the pets, I know they need food and they need vet bills, and so I put in there enough to cover their food and their vet bills. So again, I'm not stressing because I've got them my grocery money, but I have to go buy cat food. They've got their own budget. So I've broken my, what does he call it? My blow bucket into about 5 different bank accounts so that I've got different pools of money there so that I never have to stress about bills being paid. And that covers all my expenses. For my splurge budget, I've actually got that split into 3. Now, you could do whatever you want with this. You could have just one splurge budget if you want to work like that, or you could split it out. So I know that we need birthdays and Christmas. You know, that's important, and I don't want to have that money sitting in splurge, so we go and have loads of meals out because we've got heaps of money in splurge, and then, oh shucks, his birthday's turned up and we've got no money. So I've got the birthday one and Christmas one separate, and then clothing. So again, you budget for what you think you need for those in a year, and my spreadsheet will magically split it out into fortnightly, monthly, or weekly as you prefer. I then have a holiday section as a separate account, and I have my fire extinguisher as a separate account. Now, the way I've set up my spreadsheet to help you is you can actually, I've got a column for weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, and for monthly. Because for some strange reason, our water bills come every 4 months instead of quarterly, which is dumb. I don't know why that happens. So when you're populating a spreadsheet and building up your budget, how you pretty much do it is you look at your expenses and you go, all right, I know I pay $1,500 a month for mortgage. So you pop that in, you know, in a monthly column, and you try and just annualize everything. So whether you're doing it yourself or if you use my spreadsheet, annualize everything. You might pay your gas bill quarterly, your electricity quarterly, and your water for every 4 months. So you just annualize that. Phones might be monthly. You might pay other things weekly. So you kind of just build up your budget with every expense you know. You can use my spreadsheet or you can create your own, and you want to annualize that. Then once you've got the annual amount and you know how much you need in a year for what your expenses, you can then divide that out into weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. That matches your pay cycle. So you know each pay cycle how much money you need to put into each of those bank accounts. And that way when you go, have we got money to go out for dinner tonight? You go look in your splurge and you go, oh, yep, there's $100 there. We can probably go somewhere cheap. Or yes, we can go and have that fancy meal out somewhere. Or can we get takeaway? Yes or no? And you can make your decisions accordingly and actually live within your means. So that's pretty much how you build up your expenses properly to make sure that you have money to cover all your expenses. The beauty with this is all those known things are there. So you can't ever go, oh my goodness, my rego's due, I don't have money, because your money will be there for it. If you have a major blowout expense, you're going to go back to your mojo, and you're going to use your mojo, then use your fire extinguisher to pay it off. Where it gets tricky is if you build up your budget and the expenses comes to more than your income. That's when you start having to look and go, all right, we're obviously living above our means. What can we do? We need to find a way to increase our income. I can help you with that, side gig. Message me if you're interested. Or you find a way to cut your expenses. So you might go, all right, what can we cut in those expenses we have? Can we use less USH? Do we need to go to a public school instead of a private school? Do we need to cut our private health? Whatever it is that you can save. Maybe you have to drop your holiday savings down and realize that holidays just aren't a thing for you at the moment. Whatever it is, but if you've got the numbers there, you can work with it, and you can then actually live within your means and take away that stress that so many of us have when we have no money to pay a bill. That's just, I don't know, I've never experienced that. I just don't do that. Bills are always covered. So I hope that's been a little bit helpful for you, or very helpful for you. I do encourage you to go to my YouTube channel and watch the actual spreadsheet training that I just did. It's about 17 minutes. I'll pop the link for my YouTube channel in the comments below so that you can go over there, and I'll save this video on there as well. If you're getting value from this series and this video, please share this. I'd love you to share my Facebook Live video. Pop some comments in there. Let me know what you like, what you want to know more about, any questions you have. Let me know if you've watched the YouTube thing. Connect with me. You let me know how I'm going, and definitely share this with your friends if you are getting any value out of it. And if there's anything else I can help with, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Q&A. I'll do a Q&A session next if you want to send in some questions and answers. Probably next week or sometime in the next couple of weeks. As soon as I've got enough questions to do a session on that, I will do a Q&A. So thanks again. Have fun. Bye.